On the show, the environment was very different. Prices were going up. It seemed like everybody wanted in. The fascinating thing I find about this year is that obviously the price decline has been pretty intense. And yet it seems like the news flow continues to suggest people still are excited about this space. From your vantage point, how are sort of like businesses and investors and institutions, have they had any sort of rethink at all?
They not so much a rethink, but looking at really where they should be focusing the products and offerings that they're looking at. And I think last time I was here, we'd just had a bit of a crash, and we've had another one, and what's happened?
Maybe a few since then.
Maybe one or two. And what the institutions are looking at is there are offerings that they can provide in this environment, but to whom should they be providing those offerings? A consumer, how they will manage a price fluctuation like this is going to be very different to an institution. So if anything, it's a rethink of where they should maybe be focusing such offerings and addressing that.
Well, what are you seeing? So in terms of the product or the type of strategies that were being pursued 6 months ago, how have those been changed?
So while there's a lot of this interest in cryptocurrencies has been driven from consumers seeing this price movement, seeing this new exciting thing they want to get involved in.
Right.
For a institution to provide that to consumers, there is a risk when the consumer worries if the price starts moving, and there's obviously costs beyond just simply the legal place. The legal aspects. Being able to provide those similar products to institutions, working on lower risk areas such as, say, fund administration for crypto funds, is perhaps an easier way to start dipping their toe into the water.
The story last year was like, oh, there's this big wall.
So it's really interesting what they're discussing here, because the idea that banks and Bitcoin can exist does make sense. And so I've kind of been preaching this. I know I've shared content from Max Kaiser where he's basically preaching it's the end of the world, that banking is over and that everyone's going to just go into crypto and it's going to be a black hole. And I think that's a little too extreme. I think what's really going to happen is just fees are going to go down. Banking is going to become less expensive. Unfortunately, I do feel like a lot of jobs in the sector will probably get cut as machines become more and more efficient on a lot of the positions and jobs that banks currently offer. It's going to get reduced because a lot of it will just become automated. But at the same time, prices will go down and new opportunities will come up. So I do see that banking and crypto will exist together, and I also do believe that cryptocurrencies will actually make banking more efficient. And if you look at like the IPO market compared to the ICO market, there's a lot of inefficiencies, a lot of fees, and a lot of money to be made in money management and banking, and a lot of that will eventually have to go down just because people will have more competition and be able to choose cheaper options. But let me know your thoughts about this, and I will talk to you guys soon.